Забув виключити мікрофон, але тепер я його вімкнув і тепер все повинно бути файн. Навпаки. Я вимкнув тоді мікрофон, а забув його ввімкнути. Ну, сподіваюся, це вже було і так закінчення стріму, тому це не дуже було довго. І це було б майже кінець. Тому не столь страшно, але все рівно не зручно, тому вибачаюсь. Ну, буває таке, забуваєш вмикати. Нічого страшного. Так, ну. Намисто я не можу знайти. Я навіть не знаю поки, як його шукати. Я думаю, нам потім якимось чином натолкнуть на нього, і ми його знайдемо. Хіба що, може, як варіант, щоб знайти це намисто, мені потрібно буде ще послідкувати за Стелою Фішберн. Або за її сином. Але сидіти незрозуміло що і чекати просто незрозуміло чого. Ну, я не дуже це хочу робити, тому скоріш за все ми підемо просто по сюжетці. Тут є навіть сліжка. Сам ти сліжка. Стеження. Тут є навіть стеження, тому я думаю, коли воно буде активно мігати десь, то тоді воно якраз буде активно. Поки що йдемо по основному квесту. І нафіг все інше. По суті, ні, я навіть не так зроблю. Я зараз сяду. Ми прокачаємось. Угу. О! Другий левел це офігенно. Так, звичайно, я буду прокачувати укус на урон. 1500. Зі здоров'ям я б не сказав, що в мене проблеми. Ну, в мене нема проблем у головного героя. Простуда і простуда. Добре, я вам зроблю 2 простуди. Переутомлення, переутомлення, переутомлення. Три переутомлення і 2 простуди, да? І потім йдемо зразу по сюжетці. 2 переутомлення, 3 простуди. Капець. Урон значно підвищується. Але оце особливе свойство. Особлива властивість, вибачаюсь, оглушення — це повний треш. Я, звичайно, із-за цього не хочу особисто цю качати зброю, але... Підвищений урон постійно змушує мене передумувати щодо цього відносно. Давайте тут обійдемо.
It's locked.
Так, зараз спробую це місце відчинити. З іншої сторони.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top!
Наступного разу дуже незручно. Ось тобі, до речі, інгредієнти на рукоять. Осталось лише вирішити, яку зброю покращити. Ну, поки, мабуть, ніяку. Бач, заюзав цю фігню. Властивість, особливість. І не вдалося, не вдарив, не достав до нього. Зато я отримав плюху по повній. Воно нафіг така непотрібна здібність, на мою думку. Хлопці, ви тут стоїте прям декілька метрів один від одного. Ви серйозно? Навіть не зражаєтесь один з одним?
Grenade! Want some of this?
Знов ця хрінь. Що ти хочеш?
You must prepare, child, for the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away, whoever you are.
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion.
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary.
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence!
До речі,
Tired of all these puppet shows.
мені нагадало це, що я ж потрібен вилікувати декого. А потім вже йти по квесту.
Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Are you concerned about the living conditions in the city?
Of course I am. I'll be stuck here for as long as Oswald refuses to go to hospital. And, unfortunately, it seems the violence is rising.
What kind of violence?
I believe people have armed themselves and started to attack those that show signs of contagion.
Do you need
Afraid so. In the war,
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are wise to be careful.
you're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you need...
I'm afraid...
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, nurse.
one of them? Watch yourselves!
Так, щоб мені добратися до Уайтчепелу, потрібно піти ліворуч. Не зовсім так. І не зовсім так. Ладно. Так, все вірно, мені потрібно сюди.
Good evening.
Shane,
How are the conditions in Whitechapel these days?
when I think about all the people who died trying to reach England, it seems we escaped a war just to die on foreign shores, hated by all.
Goodbye.
You?
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I'm not easily scared, but crazy killers and armed patrols are lurking about. My son's right about this place.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir. Please take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Goodbye.
Hi, Mr. Peterson.
Cheap price, good quality. Fancy buying?
You never lose your foe. Do you need...
To be honest,
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue.
really? Free?
Goodbye.
Fancy?
You know... How are the
When
current...
there's more people outside at night than during the day, then you got to start to worry.
Goodbye.
Так, і у нас там ще залишився
To pay, one way or another.
Утакер там. Де його шукати, я не дуже пам'ятаю. А.
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
Уйтака.
So,
Уйтака.
are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Tell me the reason why you despise Joseph Larrabee so much, Tobias.
A faithless shepherd is the worst criminal, for he leads his flock to the abyss by disregarding the right path. God smote this man, for he doubted.
I only met him briefly. but he seemed a dedicated man who tried to provide guidance.
Do you not believe in punishment, my son? I am not talking about the law of men. I am talking about judgment from heaven.
I believe in the logical and factual organization of everything in the universe. God, if he exists, is just a principle waiting to be discovered.
Armageddon is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle where every soul will be weighed. I'm afraid yours will burn for a long time.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
Don't you hear the trumpets? The apocalypse is upon us, Dr. Reed. The final battle.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye. Good evening.
It's
Don't you...
fate.
А, в мене нема.
Very... I have...
Де я його втратив? Переутомлення.
Would you like me to revive you?
Переутомлення.
Iron sheep and
Imprisoned.
Good evening.
It's
Don't you...
fate.
No...
Last week.
Тепер же ліки
I have
є.
had a...
Так, ну що, тепер ми йдемо на точку основного сюжету. Ходить, зараз йдемо ліворуч.
so pale, my lord. Would you like me to revive you?
Потім праворуч. Це правильно? Ні, неправильно. Ось це прямий. Правильний напрямок. А тут, мабуть, двері зачинені.
cannot enter.
Угу.
Bloody monster! Look lively! It's onto us! Get a taste of this! want war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
Це було... Цікаво. Це прям... Ого. Прям... О, капець як цікаво. Тепер же не просто скалі, тепер справжні вампіри. Це норм? Я тобі ж допомагав. Ок, ок.
Don't you know better?
При всій повазі, мені здається, мені тут потрібна інша зброя.
It's locked.
У вас шансів немає.
So this is where she lives. What a splendid house.
Ну, це, як би не дивно, я думаю, за 2 століття, скільки вона живе, можна точно розбагатіти. Ну, якщо ти навіть, може, тугадум, але за 2 століття... Точно можна до чогось гарного додуматися. Крім того, враховуючи те, що вони з надможливостями, я думаю, їм бізнес будувати набагато легше, ніж звичайним людям.
Dr. Reed, welcome. How are you?
As good as one can be, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Death and affliction seem prevailing themes of late. Please, come in. We have much to discuss.
I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Not at all. Actually, I was counting on you visiting me tonight.
How strange, this painting. Beautiful, melancholic, yet with a haunting dignity.
Indeed. A long time ago, a friend asked me to paint this for him, but I kept it in the end.
I did not know you were a painter, my lady.
There are many things you do not know about me, young Ekon.
Stop calling me that.
Please excuse my behavior, Jonathan. I tend to tease my friends when uneasy.
What is bothering you, my lady? Your letter was quite alarming.
We will talk about this in a few minutes. For now, I would like you to tell me about yourself. How have you been since we last met, my friend?
My sister Mary. She was made a vampire in the same way I was. She was the one killing all those people everywhere I went.
Vengeance is a powerful force for those betrayed. Made vampire through careless error. Victims by surprise.
In the end, she implored me to put an end to her misery. But still, I felt I had taken her life twice.
I am so sorry for my accidental cruelty. Had I known your dear Mary was still alive, I would never have sent you to pray for her soul in that church.
There is no need to apologize, my lady. Your words have been most helpful in these difficult times.
Thank you, my friend. If only we could have guided your poor sister through her terrible nightmare.
I swear I did not intend that. If only I had known then how vampires are created.
That is the scientist speaking. In truth, most of us do not know how it really works. Personally, I make sure my prey will not return to haunt me.
What do you mean?
I am merciless, Jonathan. I only feed on the dying, and I make sure they are dead before leaving their remains.
I came to the conclusion that my maker, whoever he might be, must be a powerful vampire. Certainly extremely old.
How have you reached this conclusion?
I felt this power radiating like an aura every time he appeared.
Most ancestral vampires of England were killed by the Guard of Prewen half a century ago. I wonder who your maker could be.
You have no idea who he could be?
Some of the ancient ones fled England. Some may still be in hiding. All I know is you, my friend, are a pawn in some secret and obscure game of chess.
Ну, враховуючи, що той постійно називає головного героя захисником, то скоріше за все таки є.
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
Що?
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
Бля, ну це, мені здається, все рівно тупо було. Навіщо убивати було сестру? Краще б проконтролювати б її якось, ну, контролювати її дії, взяти за неї, як це сказати, попечительство. Ну, типу, слідкувати, що вона робить, вчити її чимось. Ну, так вже трапилось в їхній долі, що він її перетворив у вампіра випадково. Але навіщо її вбивати? Крім того, якщо він їй обіцяє, що я знайду ліки, я знайду ліки від цього. Тоді сенс її вбивати. Але не рахуючи цього, сюжет просто бомбезний.
I think I should ask the questions, your ladyship. After all, it was you who invited me to settle this most urgent of matters.
Fair enough, Jonathan. The situation is critical. We do not have the luxury for etiquette.
Please do not misunderstand me. I would be delighted to discuss mundane matters and idle trivialities.
If we survive the dark nights to come, we shall have all the time in the world to speak, you and I. For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
I must say, your house is exquisite.
One of the advantages of living forever is having the time to be selective with one's furnishings. I took the liberty of having tea served.
You can still drink tea.
Can't keep it down, but I do so enjoy the aroma. Let us toast to make-believe. And of course to your health, Jonathan.
And to yours, my lady.
Please, call me Elizabeth.
So, my lady, why truly did you invite me here?
I've been asked to deliver an official invitation to meet the Ascalon Club.
Хоча з іншої сторони, от щодо Мері, можливо, вбити її не така вже погана і задумка, тому що, ну а що, він же може її не зможе контролювати. Це гарно так і з нею порозмовляти, але вона ж скажена на нього, вона ображена на нього, вона ж його не хоче чути. Ну, навіть якщо б він її просив стримуватись і подібне, вона могла просто послати його нахрен, звалити від нього, і потім знов продовжувалися б нові жертви. Тому, може, я й не правий.
Who are they? Really?
They are the embodiment of vampire law in Britain. Some say they influence the destiny of the Empire. Some believe they merely protect it.
How many are they?
Only a small number of powerful and deceitful immortals, all of them entangled in a sticky web of shadow cabinets, influencing trade.
Will they fight the guard of Priwen?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
Ще раз.
Will they fight the guard of Priwen?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
Вони мене признали, виходить.
Why use you to
Визнали.
contact me?
Because they know we are close. The Ascalon Club has many spies. Their main occupation is gathering information and then deciding how to use it.
Have they threatened you in any way?
Not at all. Their message surprised me at first. But it is only logical, considering the critical situation in London.
Why not ask for your help? Since you are obviously a powerful and influential immortal yourself.
You have to understand that I am invisible to the eyes of Ascalon, for I am a woman. That suits me well, as long as they leave me alone.
Тож, у жінок не було прав навіть серед вампірів в той час.
Should I trust them?
Of course not. Do not misunderstand me. They can be very useful, but I believe their long-term goals differ from yours.
Why meet them then?
Because nothing truly important can be achieved in this city without their consent. They could be powerful allies in this current situation.
Should I lie to them?
We all lie, Jonathan. It falls to you to choose your behavior. The most important rule is to show them due respect.
They have done nothing but impede my investigation since I became known to them. Why would they want to see me now?
I guess they now see you as Ascalon material. They must have found out what happened to your sister. proof of the potent blood flowing through your veins.
I'm not sure I can accept their invitation. I have seen their handiwork. How Fergal the Beast imposed the club's law.
You have no choice, Jonathan. Even I would not openly defy Lord Redgrave, the chairman of the Ascalon Club.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave? Who is he?
Lord Redgrave is the founder and chairman of the Ascalon Club. Most mortals know him as the Earl of Bristol. He is rich and extremely influential.
Have you met him?
Only on rare occasions, for he never goes outside the club. And women are not awarded membership, even immortals.
How old is he? How long has he been a vampire?
Lord Redgrave claims to be the progeny of William Marshall, the most valiant knight who ever lived. If that is true, he could be very old.
Цікаво, як він намальований.
How powerful is his reach?
The Ascalon Club may be the most influential secret society in England. Not all its members are immortals, but they are all very powerful.
Так вона ж сказала тільки що не всі.
They are not all immortals.
А.
How is that?
The club is mainly comprised of political figures who seek the safety and expansion of the Empire. The most loyal are awarded immortality.
Any familiar or famous names?
As the richest, most relentless British tycoon, Aloysius Dawson is considered ideal Ascalon material and has been watched for years.
If you are convinced I must meet him, I will heed your advice.
Thank you, Jonathan. I understand your reluctance to brush shoulders with London's vampire elite, but we have no choice.
Is the situation that critical?
Yes. The Guard of Prewen has called for a second great hunt of our kind, and they will stop at nothing to eliminate us.
Якщо вони такі важливі, якщо у них є така влада, чому вони не можуть просто видати закони, які заборонять цю охоту на вампірів? Може тому, що вони не такі вже і... Не така вже і влада в їх руках знаходиться. Раз така справа.
Will the Guard of Prewen and the Ascalon Club fight each other?
I doubt it. If Prewen really launched a great hunt, I think most of the Econs I know would flee the country to escape the bloodbath.
I think I saw them kill an Econ on the way to your house. They seem to have a list with names.
To launch another great hunt, they must have collected intelligence on vampire identities and whereabouts. They are a resourceful lot.
Should we fight back? I will not be hunted down like an animal again.
I admire your courage, Jonathan. But the best way to fight them is to put an end to the epidemic. This is the only way to clear the air.
What is a great hunt?
The first great hunt was launched about 75 years ago. In just a few nights, the Guard of Prewen located and destroyed most of the old British vampires.
Why start a second one?
Prewen has always seen us immortals as a threat to mankind. My guess is they suspect one or more of us as the cause of the epidemic.
How did you survive the first hunt?
I fled, Jonathan. Like most vampires who survived that slaughter. And I secretly came back when I was sure they had lost my trail.
You should flee then. Leave London, the country even. I have seen the Guard in action. They are merciless.
Your concern warms my heart, Jonathan. But fear not. If the situation gets too dangerous, I shall retreat to my secret Scottish manor. I could hide you in my luggage, if you wish.
Thank you for the offer. I shall keep it in mind, but I have much to do here. There is a question I must ask you. Could Lord Redgrave be my maker?
I doubt it. If Lord Redgrave had made you his progeny, he would not have seemed so surprised when you demonstrated the strength of your lineage.
What is the plan?
The plan is we both try to save this city, you and I. Go to Ascalon, accept their proposition, and use their influence to promote your agenda.
How can I save London?
The epidemic is the priority. You must find its origin and put an end to it. This is the best way to solve the crisis.
What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation. We need clarity.
Will I ever...
Maybe not, Jonathan.
Ой, я щось не
We know for sure you were
прочитав, не
made by a
встиг.
powerful vampire, but most of those fled England long ago.
Блядь. Ось це. Оця репліка, вона вже раз, мабуть, четвертий за груду цієї жінки виникає. Це були ви? Це були ви? Це були ви? Це були ви? Та не вона це була, чувак, не вона.
Please forgive my bluntness, but I have to ask. Was it you? Did you make me?
Oh, Jonathan. I know you shall always have a gnawing doubt about who made you an immortal. But I swear, I had nothing to do with it.
Давай ще 5-й раз задамо це питання. Серйозно, було 4 рази. Це 4-й раз вже. Скільки ми з нею спілкуємось, скільки ми питаємо про вампірів, стільки він і задає в неї питання. Це були ви?
You have no idea at all? You seem to know so many things about the secrets of the vampire underworld.
Even if I had my suspicions, I would not dare give you a name so soon. All I can say is this. I will make inquiries and keep you informed.
What? What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation.
One day soon, I will have to find the answer to this mystery.
And I shall help you in your research, I promise. For now, you must go to the Ascalon Club and play their game.
Will I see you again at the Pembroke Hospital?
No, you will find me here if you need me. I shall conduct inquiries alone, and we can then share our discoveries.
Will you not visit Pembroke again?
No, I must remain discreet and avoid attracting attention to Pembroke Hospital for the time being.
But how will you sustain yourself?
I shall not, Jonathan. Fear not. I'm used to it.
When will we meet again?
As soon as you meet Lord Redgrave, I suppose. Fear not, my dear. I shall only be a heart's beat away.
I want to thank you for all your support and your help, my lady.
Could you do me a last great favor and call me Elizabeth?
I should be honored, my lady.
Then it is settled. Finally, some good news in these dark hours.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice. I had best prepare myself to meet this Lord Redgrave now.
How thrilling to meet the Earl of Bristol in the flesh, so to speak.
Something tells me you're not very keen on the man.
Don't get me wrong. The gentlemen of the Ascalon Club are honorable, but their attitude and opinions are somewhat antiquated.
I see.
As long as they deny access to female applicants, I will leave them to their antediluvian considerations as to the natural order of things. Jonathan, promise me you'll be careful.
Of course. But why the fear in your voice?
Look at me, Jonathan.
I am.
I mean, really look at me, young Ekon. We may be deceptive by nature, but this heart of mine has always told the truth.
Elizabeth.
Go, my friend. But come back to me soon.
Ну що, закохались в мене чи що? Головного героя. Блін, ми її навіть не обчистили, там аби стільки було всього цікавого. Ну давайте спробуємо. О! Ну, привіт. Особистий щоденник, 9 травня 1913 року. Сьогодні вечором ми з матір'ю пішли в Іст-Енд провідати хворих. Я давно вже не була в тій жалкій частині міста, і мені неймовірно тронуло, як моя мати розмовляє з цими бідними і як її слухає. І як їх слухає. Вона насправді намагається щось змінити кращому і допомогти їм. Вибачаю, секундочку. Але ще вона вбила одного з них. Це відбулося так швидко, що я навіть не помітила, як вона зникла. А коли з'явилась, то виглядала дуже живою і енергічною. Я зразу зрозуміла, в чому справа. Вона вбила людину, а я нічого не помітила. Ми повернулись додому, не сказав один одному ні слова. Якщо я колись-небудь стану такою, як вона, то не буду пити кров помираючих. Я буду вбивати бандитів, де б вони не ховались. Злодіїв, коротше кажучи. 13 вересня 1914 року. Сьогодні, коли я вела агітацію за право голосу для жінок, двоє чоловіків напали на мене у темному провулку. Я зі всіх сил намагалась звати на допомогу, як і вчила мене мати. Не знаю, чим би все закінчилось, якби якийсь то солдат не приказав їм залишити мене в спокої. Потім він проводив мене додому і захотів поцілувати. Я відмовилась з ним цілуватись, він нічого не сказав і пішов. Ця історія так мене розстроїла. Погіршила настрій, що коли мати вечором прокинулася, все ще плакала. Я все їй розповіла, і вона прижала мене до грудей. А потім ми пішли в театр дивитись нову п'єсу з Доріс Флетчер. Здається, я трошки розчарована тим, що мати негайно не пішла мститись моїм кривдникам. Якби я була вампіром, то не стала би проявляти таке милосердя. 15 вересня, наступний через день. Вчора вечором мати знову відмовилась зробити мене безсмертною, і із-за цього ми сильно посперечалися. І я нагадала їй ту історію з двома чоловіками і сказала, що все би закінчилось по-іншому, якби в них була зброя. Або якби я була такою, як вона. У відповідь вона просто посміхнулася, сказала, що бути частиною світу, значить, без страху дивитись йому в обличчя. Я не впевнений, що правильно зрозуміла її, але ці слова сводять мене з розуму. Посеред ночі я відправилась до Емілі і провела у неї цілий день. Може, мені пора покинути дом мати, як Емілі, і жити самостійно? Люблю мати, але мене так злить те, що вона відмовляється говорити про моє перевертення, не знаю, як це сказати. Говорити про те, щоб зробити мене вампіром. 17 лютого 1915 року я відчуваю грусть і радість одночасно, адже сьогодні я назавжди покину цей дім. Мати дозволила мені поселитися в окремій кімнаті в Вест-Енді, якщо тільки вона буде недалека від її дома. Мені прийшлося пообіцяти їй, що я буду дуже обережна. Я сказала, як сильно її люблю, а вона відповіла, що пишається мною. Тепер я розумію, вона просто хоче, щоб я була такою ж сильною і незалежною, як і вона. Якщо чесно, то я дуже вдячний їй за те, чому вона мене навчила. Вона зробила мене такою, якою я є. А сьогодні я повинен вирішити, як жити далі. Щоб я не обрала, це буде моє рішення. Я знаю одне: якщо коли-небудь я захочу стати безсмертною, то не стану звертати до своєї матері, адже це моє життя, і я сама відповідаю за свої поступки. Шарлотта Ешбері? Нема зв'язку, соціальний слой, серйозно? Це її донька. Це донька Елізабет. Ешбері, ось воно що. А я подумав, що це щоденник самої Елізабет. Прикольно. Прям неймовірно прикольно. Ну, судячи з цього, я так розумію, що мені відносно кожного стовпу придеться приймати якесь певне рішення. І я вже прийняв відносно нього, відносно неї рішення і відносно нього рішення. Мені швидше за все придеться обирати відносно нього рішення і відносно цього. І це, скоріше за все, мені здається, це цей. Оцей вампір, який там председатель, там президент клубу Асколонів. Я щось... І що мені обирати серед нього? Вбити його або не вбити? Прикольно. Але... Ну ладно, побачимо. Ну да, будівля гарна. Нічого не скажеш.
So, time to visit the Ascalon Club.
Новий діалог. Давайте поспілкуємось, раз ще така справа. Щось я завтикав, я не знав, що у нас в неї новий діалог є. Чи може з'явитись взагалі? Хоча це цілком логічно.
Hello again, Jonathan.
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a...
Of course, my dear.
Concerning your investigation,
Yes?
are you truly seeking to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least better nights?
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while. Travel around Europe, you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated for us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you, my dear.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Asprey?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Jonathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
Do you know if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End?
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Goodbye. I cannot enter.
По іншим шляхом якимось потрібно добиратись до того місця.
No! Watch it! It's a killer! Fuck, it's fast! Watch it! Are you from Ascalon? I don't care!
О! Що? А скільки він мені дамагу наніс? Ого, я не помітив.
It's one of them! Bloody leech! Feed me!
Ого. Сильний. Я не очікував, потрібно навчитись з ними боротися. Але я поки не знаю, як контратакувати. Що придумати, щоб контратакувати.
Spotted! Watch it! Watch out, boys! It's a killer!
Ого. Ого. А він важкий, блін. Та й по суті їх контратакувати. Я навіть не знаю. Ні, можна. Можна навчитися їх контратакувати. Але мені здається, це не зараз, це не актуально. Може і не потрібно їх контратакувати. Кажуть, сильний вампір. Оцей вампір якби посильніше буде за мене. Тихо, братик, я на твоїй стороні. Тут неважливо кого вбивати, що і як, тут все рівно всі отримують по 3 за будь-яке вбивство. Та ок, а що в мене по здібностям? Я трошки щось не доганяю. А, ось воно. Ну, навіть не знаю. Цікаво побачити ще одну зброю було б прям офігенно. Я теж хочу такий кінжальчик.
That was the vampire I saw earlier. This war takes no prisoners. It's locked, all right. I cannot enter.
Ого.
No civilians allowed. Look at it! Vicious bug! Watch the leech! I'll kill it! Put an end to you! I hate leeches! You leeches be killing!
Угроза, яку представляють і хори. Із всіх подлих і наймерзенніших скалей, з якими мені доводилось боротися, гірше всіх були і хори, або ікори. Справа не в їх воїнських якостях, які вони хоча вони залишаються сильними і опасними супротивниками, і не в їх хитрощах. І хори достатньо глупі і прямолінійні у досягненні своїх цілей. Завжди і буде розпространяють хвороби. І хор — це зборник різних хвороб. Куди би він не прийшов, там швидко проявляються і розпространяються хвороби. Він словно ходить по землі лише для того, щоб сіяти чуму і епідемії. Хвороби будто сочаться із самої його кожі. І хори умні, скритні, злобні і яростні. В бою вони продовжають боротися, навіть краще, навіть отримавши багато ран. Занести заразу в резервуар з водою, в я не пам'ятаю, або на банкет. Ось що обажають і хори. Ось те, що приносить задоволення цьому зловонному і збоченій істоті. Вони настільки рідкі, що ми нічого про них не знаємо. Лінтяї із братства полагають, що їх хори не вампіри і не скалі, а щось інше. Я знаю одне. Кожний хор повинен бути знищений будь-якими діями зразу після того, як його було знайдено. Знає своїх ворогів, Карл Лелчер, лідер стражей Прівена.
It's locked, all right.
А де ми? А.
The West End. Never have I felt so sad to be back home.
Ми жили в Естенді. Головний герой, тобто, блін.
You Londoners are no match for me!
Нормально, мазав. Чекай, чекай. Двадцять сьомий левел, це прям різниця велетенська. Нічого. Нічого, нічого. Капець. Які вони важкі.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need help, sir?
I think I'm fine. But what happened to my jailer? Be careful. He's as vicious as he is strong.
You don't have to worry about him anymore. What happened here?
I am Tadao Kimura. I was imprisoned by this lunatic for several days. I thought I was going to die here.
You're not going to die now, Mr. Kimura. If you hurry, you should be able to get home safely.
It seems that I owe you my life. You have all my gratitude, Dr. Reed, since it is the most precious thing I possess.
Goodbye, Miss.
Чиста кров. Всім відомо це. Цей вираз. Його. Вимовляли грязні роти єретиків і чужеземних варварів. Іноді ми самі його використовуємо, але розуміючи, що воно означає. Вампір, який з'явився на світ із живота безсмертного. Чудовищна ідея. Як такій істоті знайти своє місце серед живих, якою може бути його ціль? Джентльмени, наша ціль ясна. Аскалон повинен захищати імперію і всіх її мешканців. Ми захисники і пастирі. Навіть якщо іноді нам приходиться жертвувати однією з овець заради власного пропітання, хавки, коротше кажучи, того, хто піддався бажанню призвести на світ безсмертну дитину, слід знищити. Закон Аскалона, лорд Редгрейв, засновник клуба. А пропітання... Їжа. Просто з власної їжі. Ну ок. Ок. Так, це в нас виходить найпершу людину, кого ми знайшли, а не другу. Кімура Тадао. Ага. Мене все захищає, прям можу сказати все. Блядь, дабл кіл. Дабл демедж. Значить, якби все гарно. Але цей дамаг я можу використовувати тільки як на боса 1 на 1. Коротше, цей скіл теж такий собі, якщо чесно. Мені не цей не подобається. Ось ці 3 поки топчик. Оцей фіговий, як на мою думку, 190. Ну він дамажить. Це таки краще. А, хоча, чекайте. Він взагалі мені нічого не коштує, я думаю, ні, ладно. Ми все ж таки цей залишу. У мене навіть коли крові не буде, може один окремий раз воно мене захистить.
Your father and I have spoken about your fiancé, Mary. We believe he'll be an honorable husband for you. We'll set a date for the marriage then. That way, I'm sure one of my children will give me grandchildren. I understand your thirst for knowledge, Jonathan, and your father and I are proud of it. But you are not that young anymore, my son. When will I meet your soulmate? You can ascribe my romantic tendencies to my French origins if you want, Aubrey. But I'll never cease to believe in a match made in heaven, my beloved.
I really wish you could meet her, Mother. You would love her.
Она сошла с ума. Дуже шкода.
It's locked.
Ого, у нас власний маєток був, виходить. У головного героя, ладно.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan! Is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject, and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Ось я нічого не розумію. Вона спятила чи не спятила? Вона з'їхала з глузду чи не з'їхала з глузду?
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Ну. Коротше кажучи, загіпнотизування в цій грі, воно приводить до нарушень у мозку, працювання. Люди сходять з ума. І це потрібно було, ну, в самому початку гри попереджати про цей нюанс. Ну, типа, якщо ви гіпнотизуєте когось, ви повинні бути в курсі того, що він може зійти з розуму. Може не зійти, а може зійти з розуму. На ваш, типа, власний вибір. Як я розумію, Мері її загіпнотизувала, і вона теж з розуму зійшла. Але, ну, блін, тут логічно все.
Do you really see Mary and Father? Do you also see me?
По суті, вона права, він же
Yes.
мертвий.
For many years, it was just a game. Since your father left us without a word, I took to the habit of speaking to him.
Yes, I remember. I sometimes spied on you and listened to you talking with Father in the garden. It made me so angry then. But it was just a game, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. But since then, my poor dead Mary visited me in my room. She led me to her grave, and there you were. I now know the dead can haunt us.
I'm so sorry. You did not deserve to endure this. Mary should never have done this to you.
That's true, my son. But you know what the worst part is? I liked it when Mary spoke in my head. Now she is silent, and it makes me so sad.
Should I leave you alone? Just ask, and I swear you'll never hear from me again.
Oh, no, Johnny. You're always welcome in this house. And one day, when I finally die, we'll all be together again. Just as Mary promised us.
Goodbye, Mother. Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon. Mary? Oh, my dear daughter. How are you tonight? How is your sweet boy?
Перший лист Обрі Ріда. Мій любий Джон. Коли ти отримаєш цього листа, тобі вже виконається 35, а мене вже давно тут не буде. Я відчуваю себе трошки глупо, коли пишу це тобі це першого листа, яке ти прочитаєш тільки через роки. Я довго сумнівався, як краще повідомити тобі про це, поки не згадав загадки і які винаходило. Для те... Бля, ні. Чекайте. Винаходив. Ні, все правильно. Винаходив. Які винаходив для тебе, коли ти був маленьким. О, як ти обожнював їх розгадувати. Але, ну так от, я зрозумів, що потрібно запропонувати тобі ще одну. Останню гру. Можливо, вона сподобається тобі менше, а цей раз тебе чекають не свічки і не екзотичні скарби, але бути може ти отримаєш більш цінні скарби, правду. Це моя єдина спроба пояснити, чому я, не кажучи ні слова, покинув сім'ю. Якщо хочеш це дізнатись, просто зіграй в мою гру. Вирішувати тобі, синку. Я люблю тебе, можеш не сумніватись. Клянуся, сім'я для мене досі дорожче всього на світі. Я пам'ятаю, як вперше взяв на руки тебе і твою сестру. Мої скарби, мої драгоцінності. Я бачив, як ви дорослішаєте, граєте і смієтесь. Кожен раз, коли я повертався додому, моє серце переповнювало радість. Я був готовий вбивати, лише тільки б захистити вас. Мого сина, мою дочку, мою дружину. Але в кінці кінців доля догнала мене, і мені прийшлось зробити важкий вибір. Важкіше всього було зникнути, не сказав ні слова, але я вирішив все рівно це зробити, і скоро я назавжди зникну. Прошу, не пробачай мене, але зрозумій, якщо хочеш дізнатись більше, то тобі потрібно просто згадати, яким щасливими ми були в ті дні. Якщо хочеш знайти наступні послання, подумай про зелену траву, високих дерев. Подумай о зеленій траві, високих дерев'ях і сонячних неділях. Любящий тебе батька Обрі Рід. Я так і знав, що буде нове розслідування. Окей. Ого, у нас маєток. Я навіть не знав, що так воно є.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
Ой, краще нехай не виходить по ночам.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Які сумні історії в цій грі.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Капець. Майже кінець гри, я тільки зрозумів, що можна рухати камеру під час діалогу.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Do you know my mother speaks to the dead members of this family?
Yes. I sometimes hear her speaking to you, Miss Mary, and her baby. Sometimes your father, too.
So she thinks I'm also dead. And what about you?
I believe she only sees her relatives as the dead she speaks to, Mr. Jonathan. It breaks my heart to see Miss Reed like that.
Ого.
She may get better. It's only a hypothesis, but I know my mother is strong. Whatever illusions have clouded her mind, they will fade in time.
Yes. With time, Miss Reed will recover from this cursed year. I know that your return can only be beneficial to that process.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
А що це, я його що, щас зб'ю? Обично таке кажуть, коли вбивають.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
Я не знаю.
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
Goodbye, Avery. Please.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan.
Ого, в мене маєток.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected. Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit, it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
I'm afraid the newspapers are seriously underestimating the situation. Things are critical, believe me.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's lone gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
I may...
Women of all countries.
It's locked. Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to
Ми це знали, просто...
betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
В неї аж 5. Її так важко загіпнотизувати. Але вона симпотна.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Точно. Вона ж не може мати дітей. Це ж логічно.
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see? And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am?
Тобто вона багато тобі
What
розповіла.
my mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Думаю, ні, може бути.
Perhaps it's wise for a mortal never to totally trust a vampire. Your mother herself told me that we Ekon are creatures of deception. Maybe it's because we seem so... alive.
That may be true for a naive girl. But I have the best teacher when it comes to getting rid of an insistent immortal.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
Why do you still hope to become a vampire in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one's side.
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Блин.
Stop playing this game at once, Charlotte. This is unworthy of you, of your mother, and of myself.
I'm sorry, Dr. Reed. Please forgive me. That was stupid.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Your mother has refused to turn you into a vampire. Tell me more about it.
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No. Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Remember, don't let any strangers come into your house.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other, and so many things have happened.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
You need...
О, бля. Я забув, що вони зриваються. Скільки досвіду отримав, чекайте? 3. Мені здалося, що більше, я аж охренел, але ні, все ж таки 3. Ого. Все, я втомився. Я втомився. Давайте, мабуть, на сьогодні все. Я вже відчуваю, що я, скоріше за все, оці побочки в мене вже закінчуються. Це останнє місто. з побочками. Ще мені потрібно відкрити багато людей, але, власне кажучи, ми вже ось-ось закінчуємо з побочками. У нас залишається лише основний сюжет. Думаю, основний сюжет це максимум там стріма 2. Якщо не рахувати побочні квести. Тому десь приблизно стріма 3 ще буде. Ну і файно.